Beginning of the bike trip, our altimeter says 3,600 meters above sea level.
Well, that elevation wasn't to last. We would now embark 700 kilometers, most of it above 4,000 meters, to the highest place on Earth, Mount Everest. My next words we both would be chewing on the rest of the journey.
We can go higher.
To others, it seemed like we were moving further from our goal of discovering the spirit of higher and the spirit of the Olympics. But our guts told us this was the route to find the truth. We found proof right from the start.
This is the future suburbs of Lhasa, so you can see all over China, things are changing. Yes, we found proof, but at the same time, the trek across Tibet challenged us with many ordeals. For instance, much of the time we were lost. It felt weird to ask for directions to Mount Everest.
Do you know where Dagar is? There's a bridge there.
The locals were helpful, but the landmarks proved excellent guides as well.
So what is this?
It's the first kind of flat tire of the journey. First day, B-flat. Day 1, 15 minutes later, flat number 2.
So what just happened?
Flat number 3.
Did we even go after flat number 2?
No. I picked up my bike. First night camping, day 1, heck of a day.
The next day, we pumped up Kampa Pass. After it, there were only 7 passes left.
Altimeter says 4,700 meters above sea level.
From Kampa Pass, we dropped down to Yamdrok Lake. 72 kilometers long, we had to ride around it to get to Everest.
When we asked this sheep herder about Everest, he said we weren't even close.
Looks like we picked a pretty good night to stay in a hotel. Cheers to us. Holy moly.
Our heads hurt from altitude sickness, but our spirits were strong thanks to sights like this. Next, we had another climb called Karo Pass.
From Nangartsi to the next major town, Gyansi, the road is dirt, but not for long. The whole Friendship Highway, which links Lhasa to Kathmandu, Nepal, will be paved. By 2010, 80% of Tibet's roadways should be covered with asphalt.
Picture it. Maybe in a couple more years you're going to have something like the Tour de France. You're going to be able to road bike all the way to Nepal.
This is Karo Pass.
Amazing place. It's very beautiful.
Hard to breathe.
Hard to breathe. Air is thin. Like my arms. Beautiful. Place to have a flat tire. What number is this?
We're on 5.
What's going on?
Fixing my cleat on the bottom of my shoe. It's about the, I don't know, usually do it about 3 times a day, but I think I finally fixed it to where it won't cause me problems. Here at the top of the 3rd pass of the day. Bruzy just took a digger into the rocks. It's not all fun and games.
In the town of Gyansi, we cleaned our gear after a hard day's ride. Today, the town is a welcome stopover on the way to Everest. In earlier centuries, it was important politically and economically because it linked the wool trade to India.
Above the town sits Gyansi Fortress. Dating back to the 15th century, it served the ruling princes of the region. For us, the castle was a maze of mysterious history. We found centuries-old artifacts just sitting out. Although not so, we felt like we were the first to find them.
Just inside another random corner of this castle is another fresco. This place is filled with treasures. All you have to do is ride a bike till your lungs bleed to get here.
This is the highest part of the castle. Can't get any higher.
From the fort, we spied the Pelkor Chode monastic complex, another must-see in Gyansi. We wasted no time reaching it.
For hundreds of years, the monasteries within Pelkor Chode served as Buddhist colleges.
In here is a library. This corner is the oldest of sacred Buddhist texts. These are over 500 years old.
The most visible structure in the Pelkor Chode is the Kumbum, or Shrine of 100,000 Images. 9 stories tall, the Kumbum contains more than 75 chapels. The chapels together represent the Buddhist universe and the path to enlightenment.
All throughout this building,
you can peek your head in at any one of these doors and find a different prayer room with different deities, different paintings on the walls, and different statues.
Something else you'll see in Pelker Chode, and in fact all over Tibet, are prayer flags. The scripts on the flags are blessings, and the constant Tibetan winds disperse them. We hoped our own prayers would be answered and we'd reach Mount Everest and find the spirits soon.
Apparently, we are on the planet Endor, and the green, grassy Ewoks are welcoming us.
This is what she was carrying across. Oh my gosh, this must weigh, I don't know, 70 pounds?
And she must be about 67 years old.
That's intense.
Six or seven, flat tire.
There's Lag Pala in the distance. Ouch. After about 100 kilometers of riding uphill, we just nailed Lag Pala Pass.
Brushing my teeth before we get ready to ride today.
We got the tickets. All we have to do now is climb one last big pass, and then climb some more, and we get to see the highest place in the world, Mount Everest.
Finally, we entered the Chumalungma Mount Everest Nature Preserve. Bad weather forced us to stay at Che, a small village at the foot of the final pass into the Everest Valley.
A local family invited us into their home, which was an amazing glimpse into traditional Tibetan life. The word rustic comes to mind. The storm worsened. We could do nothing but relax, sip on yak butter tea, and eat popped barley. After 9 cups of tea, Seabass showed me to the facilities.
This is the bathroom. Be careful, you don't want to fall through. And these are chickens.
The next day, the rain grew even worse, but we pressed on.
Behind us right here, behind this curtain, if you will, 4 of the highest mountains in the world are there. But sometimes the weather's is what it is. You're in the Himalayas, what are you gonna do?
Watch out for the rocks!
The clouds, rain, mud, and sheer number of switchbacks up and down Pong Pass confounded us. Meanwhile, we were fascinated and inspired by the road workers who struggle through the miserable conditions to complete their goal. Rain or shine, China intends to have the road to Everest paved for the 2008 Olympics. Every few kilometers, we'd run into a camp hard at work. One such camp invited us in to warm up.
Just got some food, got out of the rain, but gotta keep going.
谢谢你们的款待。
Thanks for everybody's help.
谢谢，谢谢，谢谢。In the valley, the clouds lifted just enough to catch ruffles of Everest's underskirt. We thought we might get our first look at the peak, but more clouds, rain, and nightfall snubbed us.
In the tiny village of Chosong, we crashed to the banter of local farmers. Tomorrow was Everest Base Camp, but Base Camp didn't mean Everest. For that site, we'd need the weather to clear, and from what we could gather from the locals, there was no guarantee of that anytime soon.